All right, girls. So today is kind of a cool day. It was the first time that a private company carried like commercial passengers into space.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool. So I wanted to watch a little bit of a video about it, and we can like sort of talk about what they're doing and sort of like how the whole thing came up. Does that sound cool?
Yeah.
But before that, we have to lift off into the show.
All right, so do us a countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The show has started.
Okay. All right, so this is some of the video. All right. And so the company is called Virgin Galactic. That guy, this is Richard Branson. He's a British guy. He has several companies that he owns. They're all Virgin something, like Virgin Records or Virgin Airlines, or this company is called Virgin Galactic.
Why'd they pick the name Virgin?
I do not know. He's a billionaire. He can name his companies whatever he wants.
Okay.
He could call his space company Fred.
Fred Galactic.
No, just Fred.
Just Fred.
Yes. So the technique that they're using. So one of the problems with trying to achieve sort of leave Earth's gravity is you have to pick up all of this weight off the ground, right? And you have to get it accelerated up to a certain speed.
That and gravity is not happy about you getting that far away.
So if you watch, so this ship releases, they use a mothership to carry the rocket up to a designated elevation and a designated speed, and they can then release the rocket, and it ignites its rocket motor and accelerates. Let's see.
And then it just continues to break the rest of the atmosphere?
Yes, and then it uses the rocket motor to accelerate the rest of the way up out of the atmosphere. So rockets are good at high speeds, and they're good at places where there's very little oxygen. At lower speeds and in places where there is oxygen available, there are other motors that work better. Can you guess like what kind of motor that might be?
Plane.
Well, like what kind of plane? Like a jet plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it, so I'd let her answer.
Yeah. So, one of the ways that rockets would get over this limitation is they would use what they're called staging. Right? So,
Should we mute it while we're talking, or does it matter?
I'll let them talk. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can turn them down. We'll turn them down. There we go.
Like, 'cause she's loud.
So they're talking about the feather. We'll get to that in a second. So rockets usually are staged, and so have you ever seen like the shuttle take off? Like whenever we watch Space Camp and the two big motors on the side, like they drop off,
Yeah.
right?
Space Camp.
Or like if you watch like the older rockets, like the Saturn V rocket, like that took us to the moon. It had stages that would drop off. You've seen a Saturn V rocket. We saw them when we went to NASA.
Yeah.
Right, so you would have a certain amount of fuel and a certain amount of rocket motors built into a stage, and then when that stage was gone, it would just drop off and it would fall back to Earth.
Do they have parachutes or something, or is it just free falling?
A lot of that stuff was built to be disposable, so it would just became trash. It would just fall back to Earth and crash, or like a lot of time it might fall in the water, depending on how they launched it.
Like, just imagine being outside and then a piece of space trash just falls on your lawn.
Yeah, they set it up so that kind of stuff wouldn't happen.
And yes, we did go to NASA once.
Yes.
Oh, yes, we wouldn't lie about that.
And so, And technically, this would be considered like a two-stage sort of setup. And the first stage, instead of it being a rocket motor, is an aircraft that lifts this other smaller rocket system up to a designated height. Now, the feather, if you can kind of see the back wings, they sort of flip it up. And what happens is this is it's modeled off of a shuttlecock, like from badminton. Yeah. And so, oh look, they're floating around a little bit. They're weightless.
Whoa, it glitched.
Yeah.
They have no weight.
Yeah. Well,
there's no gravity.
Yeah. Technically, at that height, the height they're at, it's probably microgravity, but it's enough that you're weightless in the cabin.
Okay. So
are they almost to space?
Yeah, they were in space.
They are?
Yeah.
Once you break the atmosphere, you're in space.
Yeah, they have a height for what they consider different levels.
It's
and
past the exosphere, right?
Yeah. And then you have to get to a higher elevation and a higher speed if you want it to achieve orbit. This technique probably not suitable for getting things actually into orbit, but you can go up into outside the Earth's atmosphere. You can see the curvature of the Earth. You can experience weightless for a short period of time.
See some cool stuff, you know?
Yeah, and then you come back down. Now see how these wings are up. Because they're at a slower speed, basically what they're doing is they're just like sort of tumbling back down. And it's like, it's a controlled tumble. Like I said, it's like a shuttlecock. It's drag as opposed to like the space shuttle, again, like it's coming in much faster because it's coming in out of orbit. And this technique means they don't need a heat shield, really.
Really?
Yeah, not a dedicated heat shield. Well, there's just not as much friction. There's not as much heat buildup. They're not decelerating as much. They went up. They're at a slower speed, and so they can essentially make they're almost like parachuting back down.
Are the tail kind of that helps control it when
it
moves?
It's a controlled descent, but instead of having to tip the nose up and sort of dip back into the atmosphere where there's a lot of friction because you're moving at high speed, and there's a lot of deceleration you have to get from an orbital speed to a suborbital speed, they can just flip the wings up, and we'll see here. They're kind of outside. See?
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
I tried a descent at Wonderworks and I crashed twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, oh, this makes no sense to me.
And I couldn't do anything.
And it's hard.
So once it descends down to a certain level, they'll fold those back, and then basically it's going to land just like a normal airplane.
Cool.
So this technique came from a thing called the X Prize. And the no, not like the X-Men.
Sorry, the X just got my brain there.
And the idea of the X Prize was to I forgot how many days it was. We can look it up at the end.
It's days.
Yeah, you basically it was for a private company to launch like 2 people to a designated height, and then they had to complete a second mission within so many days. And the idea of the X Prize was to stimulate private space aviation.
Okay.
And so it was a contest, and so the first team that was able to achieve that, they got
bragging rights.
Well, they got money. Like it was like a $10 million prize or something like that.
I was like, that's what they say when we win dodgeball. We get bragging rights.
Yeah, so it was both.
And money.
And
good job. Aubrey, you need to stop being a dork.
So the team that won the X Prize, they used the same technique with a smaller rocket ship. And I don't remember all the names of it. We can look it up here in a second. Or we can look it up now, actually.
They're not doing much.
So
computer expertise.
X Prize. one of the guys I think was Burt Rutan, scaled composites.
Oh, there it is.
So he's sort of X Prize for suborbital flight. So challenge teams build private spaceship carrying 3 people, 2 flight times within 2 weeks of each other, and so spacecraft is designed by Burt Rutan. So he's famous for sort of building he's airplane designer, and he would make them out of carbon fiber, like they were really light.
Cool. Wait, carbon fiber?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would trust carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber is amazing.
It is?
Yeah.
What is it?
We'll talk about that another time.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking something else. So, like, just carbon fiber.
And so it was a $10 million prize. And so then Richard Branson sort of, he came in and he invested with the guys. So, anyway, so then he came in and invested and started up Virgin Galactic. But that's how this all got started.
Wait, is that ship just made out of carbon fiber?
Yeah, carbon fiber is really light and really strong.
Okay. I might be thinking of something else. I might be thinking of a different kind of fiber.
Yeah.
Is there like oxy fiber or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's see. There's...
I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah.
Don't talk. You want to have. He always wants.
He's fine, Bill.
Oh yeah, they got plenty of oxygen.
They're good.
All right, so anyway, it's cool because this is, like I said, it's private space flight. It used to be something people only considered the realm of nations.
Ah, the dogs.
Stop!
Okay, let them out.
I'll go let him out.
Sorry, the dogs interrupted this.
All right, so traditionally you have this rocket and it has stages, and so these stages would burn, and then you would instead of hauling the empty gas tanks and things like that higher up, because if you have a fuel tank, once the fuel level gets used up, that tank starts becoming more and more dead weight, and so as it would launch, it would just drop this part off, and then there's a second set of rocket motors in there with its own supply of fuel, and these second set of rocket motors, they're designed to operate at a specific altitude. So you'll build these rocket motors down here to operate close to the ground. They're purpose built especially for the liftoff phase, and then this second stage is specially built for like the next stage of flight, and then this third stage, like they're especially built for taking you from a high altitude all the way out of the atmosphere. And so the problem with this is that these stages tend to not be reusable because they're dropping down out of the sky once they get spent, and they're falling into the ocean. Sometimes they're able to be recovered with boats and things like that, but they're still getting smashed as they're falling down out of the sky.
They're probably obliterated.
Yeah. And so part of the idea of making space travel cheaper is, first of all, we have to get it away from governments. So for it to get easier and less expensive, we need companies that can innovate and who can make profit and try new ideas. And then, so part of that was X Prize. I almost wrote X Files on there. And so we talked about the X Prize specifications. And so the winning team, what they did is they used an aircraft, so lifting wing aircraft, to carry a rocket stage up into the air, and then this rocket would ignite and it would carry it the rest of the way up there. So in effect, it's like a two-stage system. Other companies that have sort of been inspired by that, they have what they call recoverable rockets. And so their rockets will launch and they'll fly up, and then they'll have a payload that they sort of distribute into space but the beginning stages will come back down to Earth, and they will actually right themselves back up, so that they're so that they're standing up.
Whoa.
And then they'll fire their motors as they're approaching the ground, so that they will actually land back on the pad that they took off from.
Well, that's gonna be interesting if they get that to work.
No, it works. They're
Wait,
doing
it works?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, hold on just a second. So let's see. So that is all right. So SpaceX booster landing.
There's SpaceX, X Prize, X Files, X Men.
Yes.
So many X's.
All right. So
Extra letter.
yeah. Oh,
Another commercial.
commercials are the worst.
I know.
All right. So
Thank you, Verb.
Ah!
Thank you, Icebreakers. We get it.
all right.
Oh, thank you.
Ah!
No, this is it.
This
Okay.
is
So.
Okay, good. Okay.
All right, so their rockets are called Falcon Heavy, and so here, let's. All right, we'll do the launch, and then we'll fast forward to when they land.
Woo! That's so cool. It's way cooler than the smoke bombs we have at the 4th of July.
Yeah.
That does make colors. Those are colors and not that big.
All right, so there it is. It's lifting off, and then these boosters are going to separate, and all right.
Is SpaceX a company or is it a part of the government?
No,
thing?
SpaceX is a private company.
You know, like the Virgin Galactic.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, I have a question.
What's up?
Why are we going to space?
Well, there's lots of reasons to go to space, so that's where, oh, it looks like they landed them already, so, alright, let's,
Oh, there. Looks like that.
alright,
The landing.
alright.
How many hours did this happen?
It says unstable.
Yeah.
It looks like about 10 minutes from launch to,
They got up and down fast.
Is it all just unstable video?
okay, that is not a fun video. I think we were, alright, so
It's
let's
clickbait.
just do this one.
Does it show them landing?
Yes.
Yay! Now it's better.
Alright,
That's
let's
all the
see.
style. It's really good land. On your feet.
Okay, here we go. Ah, so much of the advertising. Alright, so the rockets are coming back down. They used sensors and smaller boosters to right themselves. See, they're coming down and they're landing. It's almost like they're going in reverse. And see, they're folding their legs down and then.
Ooh.
That's
cool.
Right?
Jinx.
You can't call Jinx on that one.
Can't call Jinx whenever we're doing an educational video.
That one wasn't even the right timing and stuff.
And so that system allows the rockets to be used again. There's another company that does sort of a similar thing called Blue Origin, and their founder, who's also the guy who's like the founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, he's supposed to be taking a flight up into space soon too. So
Delivering Amazon packages via spaceship.
I guess.
And prepare for landing.
And so that's one of the reasons that we also, so for a while, whenever they were talking about space flight, because there's no friction up there, you can go very fast, and rapid package delivery was actually sort of one of the things that they thought would happen with the advent of space flight, is that getting to those altitudes and those speeds, it would become cost effective to rapidly deliver something over a long distance, like from Japan to like New York or something like that.
That'd be kind of cool. I was like, I think it'd be good for international. Like local, I feel like that would be a waste of time.
Right.
Do you guys? Are we gonna land that video?
Yes, land the video for us. We are coming in for our landing, and we're gonna
Wait, but first we have to say
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Now land this video.
All right, land it for us.
Don't forget to subscribe.
English.
And 10, 9,
8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Touchdown!
This video has landed.